Hello and welcome everybody to the Final Fantasy V 4 Job Fiesta 2022. If you're newer to this channel and you have not seen these videos before, let me tell you what's going to be happening this summer of 2022. Every summer I play in an event called the Final Fantasy V 4 Job Fiesta. That's at 4jobfiesta.com. It is a Final Fantasy V community event wherein all of the players play through Final Fantasy V using only 4 jobs that are randomly assigned to them. Some of the jobs in Final Fantasy V are really powerful, some of them are pretty weak. We get some interesting combinations and every run is a little bit different. So this is a challenge run kind of scenario. On this channel, what I usually do with this run is I upload all of my boss fights without commentary to a public playlist for each run through that I do. But certain boss fights that are notable, kind of big roadblock famous bosses, I will do commentary such as this one. So you will see, if you're watching my channel here this summer, content that is Final Fantasy V related, and it's going to be a few of these bosses with commentary where I feel like something needs to be explained. You're always welcome to check the playlists of the unlisted videos that have no commentary if you want to see what the other boss fights look like. I don't do long Let's Plays these days, but I do like to put the commentated videos. So let's go on to this run right here with the Seal Guardians. And now let's get to the first commented battle of the Final Fantasy V 4 Job Fiesta here in 2022. This is a battle with what's often called the Seal Guardians, or the Crystal Guardians, or just the Crystals sometimes. They actually have no name in the game here. As you can see, the name field is blank right there. These guys are always a big roadblock battle. I'll almost always do a commented version of this fight. The party that I have for this first run is White Mage on top, Geomancer second from the top, Berserker next, and then Samurai. These can use only abilities from these jobs, although I can mix it up a little bit. So you can see my Geomancer right now is casting some white magic spells. The Samurai there can use the white magic stuff. The Samurai can use the armor spell and an image spell later on. The way these crystals work is that they are susceptible to Doom. Before I explain the crystals, yes, you saw the Berserker swing the Doom Axe there and get a very, very lucky early hit on the crystal. The way the crystals work, though, is they have 7,777, so 7,777 hit points. When they get below 3,000, they go into what we call like a Berserk mode or a critical mode, where they spam all targeting magic that aligns to their element. So clockwise from the top, you've got fire, water, earth, and then air. That's the one that just went down to the Doom spell. One of the ways you can take these guys down is with a Doom or instant KO ability. They are very, very high level. They're level 77, so it's very hard to land those kinds of things. Final Fantasy V has a level-based check for spells that have 2 hit. So the Doom Axe is a pretty low probability chance, because the Doom Axe has a 1 in 3 chance to try a Doom spell, and then it has to hit through all of their evasion and resistance and high level. So that was a really lucky pull, especially right there in the first round of this fight. The crystals have really, really high speed as well, so they are going to get lots of actions, lots of turns, and so what I need to do is protect myself. During the first part here, they only do physical attacks. They're just going to spam criticals or just regular physical attacks. So I am putting up the armor spell. You saw me put on the shell spell, and then now also the image spell. The shell spell will be handy later when one or more of them is in its critical mode, when it is spamming its all-targeting magic. If you have access to white magic for this fight, it's a lot easier because you can protect yourself from both phases of these crystals. You can put yourself in image status. Image gives you 2 free dodges of the next 2 attacks. So when you see an attack come in and nothing blocks it, like a shield or the cape, the mantle that parries it, or the knife that parries it, that means that you're going to just dodge that hit from your image, and then one of your images will be gone. The Samurai also has an ability called Blade Grab or Evade in this one, and that allows you to dodge an incoming physical attack. The White Mage on top there also has that ability installed right now, or equipped right now, because he learned that as a Samurai, and so he can use the ability to the Blade Grasp. I put that on the White Mage, because the terrain ability is not very useful in this one. You'll see the Geomancer use it a little bit because we don't have access to any other big offense, really. So Branch Spear does pretty nice damage, although you can't control where it goes. So that front one is going to use Aqua Rake when it gets below 300. So I'm trying to keep my characters with really high hit points as best we can, as close to full as we can, and also keep their images up. The shell status will stay on them. These guys can't dispel it. So once you cast the shell status, it stays on as long as that character stays alive. So we are in fine shape with that. The Berserker is going to keep swinging that Doomax over and over and over again and may get another proc. We'll see about that later. But that's all the Berserker can really do in any case in this game. Berserker is just going to swing their weapon over and over again. You can equip other abilities on the Berserker like White Magic or whatever, but they won't use any of them in battle. So an ability like the Evade ability is actually pretty handy for Berserker because it's a passive skill that they can use in battle because it doesn't require putting an input in. So here's where we are. The Aqua Rake is coming in from the front one. That means that it has less than 3,000 hit points. That critical hit from the Samurai is pretty nice. The Samurai swords that the Samurai is using right now has, I think, a 12% chance for a critical hit right there. The later Samurai swords, katanas, do have higher crit chances than that. I think the Masamune has 15% instead of 12. So now I've got just 2 pieces left. We're going to start going to work on the bottom piece. That's the Earth piece, although you'll see that Berserker is kind of distributing hits around, and whenever the Geomancer does use the Gaia or Terrain ability, that's random too as to what the targeting is. There's a lot of fights in this game where there's random abilities that you have to kind of deal with in a Fiesta run, in a challenge run like this. You've got to work with it. Things like the Dancer, and we'll see actually the Dancing Dagger here in a little bit from the Geomancer. So here I'm taking the Guardian Dagger. The Guardian Dagger has a built-in parry ability. It has a chance to block incoming physical attacks, but now that the Geomancer is going on the offensive, the Dancing Dagger has a chance, 1 in 4 chance to do a dance instead of attack, and then one of those 4 dances that can randomly choose is called Sword Dance, which is, I think it's like an 8 times multiplier on your damage. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But so if Sword Dance comes up, that's the nicest damage we can get at this point of the game. But even just by itself, 420, very nice in the damage readout. So the Samurai also can do nice damage with a critical hit, and a Sword Dance also will do impressive damage. Remember, we have Shell on right now, so all of these spells could be doing a little bit more than double what you're seeing right there, because we're having the multiplier. So, think about how troublesome that could be. Could get out of hand pretty fast. And so I have a choice here. I could go to put image back on, but Sword Dance right there, as you can see, did even better damage than a critical hit from the Samurai. Now we just have the Fire Crystal to deal with, and we'll see how we take care of this one, but we're in pretty good shape with this fight. So as we go on here to the end of this battle, I'll be doing a couple more battles, bosses before the end boss, and then of course the final boss. As we see, the Doomax takes out the second of the 4 crystals right there with the fire one. Ba-boom! We're going to head on to Exdeath's Castle here in World 2.